Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 6, your final week of home learning. I can't believe we've made it. Today and for the rest of this week, we are going to be focusing on PSHE in our wider curriculum with a focus on hopes and dreams, as in today's lesson. We've got our classic friend Jigsaw Jez here, and yeah, we're going to get kick-started. So to begin with, as we'd normally do something like this in school, I've got here, the link is on the website, the link to a mindfulness exercise for you to do. It's only about 5 minutes. You can put it on in the background, close your eyes, listen, you can watch, totally up to you. I'm going to be honest, I've done it and it's made me feel really calm and really ready for this. So why don't you pause me, go over, have a go at one of the at the video and yeah, come back when you're ready. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that. I know sometimes you can feel a little bit silly when you first start doing it, but fingers crossed you've enjoyed it, and we've got a couple more for later in the week as well. All right. So let's begin with, if we're talking about what hopes and dreams are, or our hopes and dreams, let's think about actually, well, what are they? What are hopes and dreams, and is there a difference between the two? Why don't you have a go? Perhaps you could just write down or say out loud what you think both of those things are, okay? Right, well, again, I must admit, I find it really tricky kind of differentiating between the two. But when looking at a definition, it would be helpful if I wasn't in the way here, wouldn't it? Hopes are a feeling that you want something to happen, okay? And dreams are an ambition, aspiration, or ideal that you imagine. So I guess for me, I think dreams are perhaps a little bit more long-term, okay? So we're thinking way into the future, whereas a hope can be short-term. You can have a hope for that day, etc. But to be fair, you can have your own definitions for those. They mean different things to different people, okay? And I think particularly now, more than ever, it's really important that we can find those hopes and dreams for the future, certainly when the present feels a little bit uncertain, okay? So, quick game then. If I won the lottery, I would. How would you finish that sentence? Maybe you've got multiple. It's something that lots of people dream about winning. Why don't you? You could write down, you could draw a little picture for me. What would you do if you won the lottery? I know for me, it would probably involve getting some kind of far away, dreamy island somewhere. Very hot, but I'd have some kind of, I don't know, it'd be an island of cats, definitely. Cats that like the hot weather, but an island of cats with undoubtedly unlimited buffet service at all times. Okay, what would you do? Right, hopefully I'd love for you to share with me what you would do. It's always interesting to hear what other people would do. I want you to now have a think though, thinking about those things. Do all dreams require money? So do all the things you want to do, for example, buying a private island, I'm going to need a lot of money for. Rescuing and looking after cats. Actually, perhaps, yes, there'd be some money involved, but it would be, there might be other options to do that. So what could you achieve without money? What don't you need money to buy? Perhaps you've thought about, well, perhaps if you've got a career or something like that that you want to do, yes, again, there might be money involved along the way, but actually the hard work and the determination that you show putting into it might be kind of the biggest driving point with that. Okay, so always nice to dream. I do occasionally do the lottery and hope and pray. So far, I've won £2, so not quite enough to buy my private island yet. All right. Right, okay, so I don't know about you guys, in case you didn't know, I love musicals. So I would like you, I've put again this link up on the website. There is a clip from Matilda the Musical to a song called When I Grow Up, okay? Go and have a watch. You can always, if you can't access the video, or if you've got something like Spotify or whatever, you could just have a listen to it. But I think the video is quite nice because you can see it being performed on stage. So have a little watch. Listen carefully to the lyrics. You might want to listen 2 or 3 times. I will warn you, it's going to get stuck in your head. I've been singing this for the last week. And have a think about these questions here. Okay, so pause me, go and have a listen, and then come back. Okay, so I love Matilda anyway. I love the film, I love the book, and the musical looks cracking. I haven't been yet. But I think the biggest thing there is it's really, these children that are singing are dreaming about what's going to happen when I'm older. What can you do? So, for example, when you guys are older, if you wanted to stay up all night watching television and eating sweets, you can do. That is the beauty of being an adult, guys. If you wanted to, I can't think of anything. If you wanted to buy 30 puppies, then you could do, as long as you looked after them properly. So what do you think? And what about your hobbies and interests? Again, I think for me, I always knew, even as a young child, that food and eating was always going to be a hobby and an interest of mine. Yes, that was always something I did when I was younger, but now I get to choose all of the lovely restaurants that I want to go and eat out at. So think about what your hobbies and your interests would be. How would you spend your time? What do you think a day in the life of you as an adult looks like? Probably going to work on a weekday, maybe on a weekend, probably cooking yourself some dinner, chatting with your friend. Like how would it be different? What do you think? All right. So what I want you to do now, and this can be kind of thinking about yourself as an adult or you right now. I want you to think about, you've thought about what's life going to look like when you're older. What then is your biggest dream for the future? And it could be for now. It could be for a week's time. It could be for a year's time. Okay. It could be for 20 years' time. What do you think? What is the very best dream you can imagine for yourself? Now, you'll find on the website, I've put up one of these dream jars. Okay. So you can, if you can print it out, do it, great. If not, you can just draw yourself a little jar. Or it doesn't even have to be a jar. You could make yourself a cloud or something like that. And in there, I want you to draw and or write. You can do a bit of a mixture. The very best dream you can imagine. Now, you can have a bit of fun with this. It might be that you do a dream that you think, is actually your dream for the future. So, for example, achieving your dream job and creating something that's going to change the world. Perhaps you would draw yourself as an inventor, inventing something that's going to make you lots of money, change the world, etc. It could be that you draw yourself in your dream house with the pet that you've always wanted, that dog that you've wanted for years. You could do something like that. You could go a little bit more magical. You could think about you could draw or write about yourself gaining magical powers. Who knows? Maybe it will happen one day. Floating through kind of an imaginary land with your best friend, just living your best life. You can guess who wrote this one at the bottom. Eating a never-ending piece of spaghetti covered in the most delicious sauce you could ever imagine. I'm picturing myself with just like meters and miles of spaghetti just coming on it. All right. So what's your dream? Pause me here. Draw it. Write it. If you've got lots that you want to do, you could always cut your dream jar down the middle and you could do a few different possibilities, a magical one, a real one, whatever it is, and then come back and I'll tell you what we're going to do next. Okay. Right. So hopefully you've drawn or written or whatever in a jar. Now, what you can do now is I want you to think about what that dream jar. Now, these dream jars we've got from BFG. I don't know if you guys have read it, but we have got the idea from there. So in the BFG has all these beautiful jars filled with all these like glittery, swirling, whirling patterns that create different dreams. So on the either two options, you could get another jar, same size, decorate that, and then you can stick the two together back to back. Or you can just cut out the dream jar that you've drawn and written on previously. And on the other side, decorate it with the most dreamlike pattern you can imagine. I've put swirls, glitters, all things wonderful. Okay, anything you can think of. You could make it tie-dye. You could make it rainbow. You could link it to your dream. If your dream is, I don't know, something like driving a Ferrari in the Formula One, then perhaps you could do some kind of cool red racing car pattern type thing. Okay, so next step, decorate. Okay, come back when you've finished that. Okay, so you'll notice again on the sheet that I've put up, I've put a little label there. And I want you to think about here. So what would your dream be labeled with? Now, again, I've stolen some of these from the BFG. and we've got lots and lots of different labels here, and you can see they've been written in BFG speak, which I absolutely love. Okay, so we've got, this dream is about how I is saving my teacher from drowning, and I quite like it in like Bristol accent as well. We've got, I is inventing a car that runs on toothpaste. Okay, so what is your dream? Can you write it on your label so that if someone looked at it, they'd know what it was? And little challenge there as well. Could you write it in BFG speak? Could you turn it into something like this? Again, you might want to pause me so you can read a few of those. But yeah, we'd love to see them BFGified. Okay. Right. This is just another little activity you can do. So we should have now a swirly whirly pattern, a picture or words or both about what your dream is, a label to kind of give a bit more detail. Now I want you to imagine that it is a real life kind of potion or recipe you're making. What ingredients would go into your dream jar? So we've got a little extract from BFG here. I'm going to read only part of it for you because he's kind of mixing up this big dream jar. So we've got, now he is mixing them, the BFG announced. He went to the cupboard where he kept his bottles of Frobscottle, and from it he took a gigantic egg beater. It was one of those that has a handle which you turn, and down below there are a lot of overlapping blades that go whizzing around. He inserted the bottom end of his contraption into the big jar where the dreams were lying. Watch, he said. He started turning the handle very fast. Flashes of green and blue exploded inside the jar. The dreams were being whisked into a sea green froth. The poor things! Sophie cried. They is not feeling it, the BFG said as he turned the handle. Dreams is not like human beings or animals. They has no brains. They is made of zosimus. So that's him kind of mixing his up, all right? What would go into your mix? Would it be a dash of ambition? Would it be a handful of magic? 750 hours of working hard at school? Can you write a little ingredient list for me? What's going to go into your dreams? Okay, once you've done that, come back to me. I've got one final little extension activity, an optional one, but I think it's one you'll enjoy. So come on back once you're ready. Okay, so now you have thought all about your dream, what goes into it, what it looks like, the label. I've got a little activity that links back to what we did with Matilda. So we listened earlier to When I Grow Up. Like I said, absolute banger. I've been listening to it on repeat. And I've got the lyrics for you here. Now, don't worry, I've put these on to the activity sheet as well, so you don't have to read them here. But what I would like you to do as a little extra challenge is think about, what if you rewrote the lyrics to fit your hopes and dreams? So instead of growing up and being tall enough to reach the branches, perhaps you're going to grow up and you are going to grow your brain so big that you invent something new that's going to change the world, a cure for an illness or something like that. Okay, perhaps you're going to be launched off into space. Could you have a go at rewriting these lyrics so that they're about you? There'll be some lines that you'll want to keep the same, when I grow up, before you're grown up at the end, but change the bits in between. Again, I'd love, love, love to see your lyrics. Double whammy, if anyone wants to sing it, my goodness, it would make my, not even my week, my year. Okay, so have a go at that. Everything should be on the website. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Come back and join me tomorrow where we're going to be thinking about kind of our career aspirations. Okay, looking forward to seeing you then. Bye.